In Atlanta, one of the fastest growing cities in the country, tech startups are helping to fuel the boom.
Immediately.
Tristan Walker's business is part of it. Walker & Company makes health and beauty products for people of color.
Best shaving tools.
Bevel is one of their most popular brands. A year ago, Tristan relocated his company here from Silicon Valley, a radical move for a guy who grew up in Queens, New York. You never saw yourself settling in the South?
No.
Like so many other African Americans, the South was just a place to visit relatives who stayed behind.
My family, my mom, grandmother, from small town Aliceville, Alabama.
A rural town in the deepest part of the Deep South. This is where you would see your grandparents. Aliceville, Alabama. Searching for a better and safer place to live away from the violence and the Jim Crow laws that defined the South, Tristan's family was part of the Great Migration.
It's actually one of the biggest migration patterns that this country has ever witnessed.
Nearly 100 years ago, about 9 in 10 African Americans lived in the South, mostly in rural areas. But soon after the start of the 1900s, things started to change. Between 1915 and 1970, about 6 million black people left states like Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi, moving to northern states including New York, Illinois, and Michigan. For many, it was their entry into the middle class. Jessica Lynn Stewart is an assistant professor of African American Studies at Emory University.
You could get a good factory job, right? Fresh out of high school, black man, you don't have to go to college. You can get a job at a steel mill and make a good, decent living, right? And support your family. And that's why, again, we talk a lot about deindustrialization, the loss of manufacturing jobs. And we think about that in terms of the white working class voter. We don't always realize that that devastated whole black communities all across the Rust Belt as well.
Crime, broken neighborhoods, and failing schools in the North have sparked a new search. Today, experts say, the nation is witnessing the Great Migration in reverse. Blacks returning to cities across the South, particularly North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and Georgia. Did the Civil Rights Movement have anything to do with creating what some people call the New South?
Absolutely. I think this being kind of the heart of the Civil Rights Movement, you have that legacy here.
How does this space compare to Silicon Valley?
Well, first, it's a home.
Today, Tristan has set up open workspace for his company that merged with Procter & Gamble in 2018 for an undisclosed amount.
Correct. We try and create as close to a family environment as we can here.
Part of that means being inclusive.
Ever since I started this company, I wanted the diversity of my company to reflect the diversity of the consumers we serve. So I have to be where that diversity is. I can't tell you how many times I had wonderful candidates who we could have hired who didn't want to move to Palo Alto, California.
Unlike Silicon Valley, where blacks are just a small fraction of the tech industry, Atlanta's climate and culture has attracted young black tech professionals to the city, hiking their numbers here into the double digits. When Nicole Chandler heard about Tristan's company, she wanted in.
We're prioritizing the needs of black men and black women, and I've never been the priority. So, and then I wasn't the only in the room either. So there was just levels of like goosebumps and excitement, and I could have cried about it, but.
Okay, friends, how y'all doing?
Ryan Wilson and his business partner, TK Peterson, created a way for this growing black professional community to connect. Their solution? The Gathering Spot, a private membership club that fosters business relationships.
You have my number still, right? Yeah. The main thing that we're focused on is trying to make sure people know each other better. In a world that's increasingly digital and where we focus on digital connections, what the Gathering Spot stands for is doing a little bit of that, but doing more of the old school, in-person, actually relationship building.
I grew up in Chicago, which is one of the most segregated cities in the country. So I want to be a part of the movement that says this is the place for black entrepreneurs to be, thrive, and support each other.
Are you walking now?
Now a married father of 2 young boys, Tristan is back in the South, where his family started generations ago.
I think there should be more places like Atlanta. The cost of living is wonderful. You think about the kind of difference between where I was coming from in the Bay Area to Atlanta. I can live now, right? And I mean live and afford to live. And that opens up opportunity for us to seek opportunity, right? That we might not have sought otherwise.
A reverse migration offering new hope to a new generation. Rehema, Ellis, NBC News, Atlanta.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.